Deputies investigate a suspected mobile meth lab found in a Kalispell parking lot.
Glacier Park advising park visitors to have a plan B if they're hoping to visit the busy park this summer.
And an autistic man is finding strength to inspire others.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Bragg.
And I'm Jill Valley. It's a problem increasingly on the minds of working families and individuals in Missoula, how to afford a house or even an apartment with the prices going up.
The Missoula Organization of Realtors hopes some of the answers may start in a new survey, Making Missoula Home a Path to Attainable Housing, which looks at the current state of Missoula's housing market and ways to promote more affordable housing. MOR launched the survey about a year ago, hoping to find some reasons and possible solutions for the growing shortage of affordable homes. Since the recovery from the recession, prices have been climbing while the supply of homes, especially in the under $300,000 price range, has been extremely tight. At the same time, most new homes are being built that cost more than $300,000 or even $400,000. The study, involving partners and data from both the public and private sector, looks at not only the housing supply and prices, but also whether people are making enough money to afford the homes that are available. The full report will be released on Tuesday with a free public presentation that'll be at the Holiday Inn Parkside starting at 10 a.m. After a real foggy start this morning, we're in for some breezy conditions tomorrow. For the latest, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Darren Mills. Darren?
Yeah, that warm front today allowed our temperatures to really spike. Several folks topped out anywhere from the upper 30s to the upper 40s, even some low 50s out there. Again, that warm front moving through as we speak. Here's a look at Hamilton today. First Security Bank ICAM, where the unofficial high temperature was 59 degrees. Right now, we're starting to see some moisture creeping into western Montana. Higher elevation snow and valley rain. This will continue into the overnight hours with periods of a rain-snow mix potentially. That cold front will plow throughout the morning hours. You will notice a lot of wind along with those dropping snow levels. More details on the way.
A Ronan middle school teacher has resigned amidst an investigation into an inappropriate relationship he had with an 18-year-old student. Ronan Superintendent Mark Johnston says on January 16th, the administration was made aware of these allegations and opened up a Title IX investigation. But before it concluded, that teacher resigned. The teacher worked as a 6th grade English teacher at the middle school and was an assistant high school boys basketball coach for the Ronan Chiefs. According to Johnston, no criminal charges have been filed at this time, and the Title IX investigation was incomplete due to the teacher's resignation. The man accused of trafficking 6 victims, including 3 children, for sex in Montana claims his business was perfectly legal. Terrence Edwards faces 10 charges related to prostitution. Prosecutors described Terrence Edwards as a violent pimp, but defense attorneys say he operated a perfectly legal escort service. Edwards was arrested in Billings after a 22-year-old Polson woman said Edwards forced her into the commercial sex business. Federal investigators later learned Edwards was trafficking at least 3 women, threatening them, taking all the money they made from these commercial sex ventures. Edwards later met a 15-year-old North Dakota girl online and drove hundreds of miles to pick her up and her 2 teenage friends. Prosecutors say Edwards brought the girls to Billings to work as prostitutes. But defense attorneys told jurors Edwards wanted the girls to model purses that he made in prison the last time he was incarcerated on prostitution charges. Prosecutors say the sex trafficking operation spanned at least 3 states. This trial is expected to last 8 days. A man is in custody tonight after deputies say he was cooking meth inside his vehicle parked in front of the Kalispell Kmart. Around 1:30 this morning, a deputy with the Flathead County Sheriff's Office checked on this vehicle after seeing that it was running and somebody was inside sleeping. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry says the deputy observed what, in his experience, were the makings of a meth lab inside. He says while the drug can be made several ways, this is one of the more dangerous ways to do it. Curry says dismantling the lab is a very dangerous job and can cause explosions. Just how volatile they are depends on what phase of the cook it's in or whether or not the chemicals are active. DEA cleanup crews from out of state were on site to process the scene, pick up the chemicals, and dispose of them safely. He says while the number of these kinds of cases has dropped in recent years, it is a reminder that this drug, methamphetamine, can still be made locally. Curry says the suspect could face felony charges of criminal manufacturing of unsafe drugs.
Leaders of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes say they look forward to working with the federal government on details of a new conservation plan for the National Bison Range now that a lawsuit has been settled. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has settled the suit brought by the Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility, or PEER, challenging the agency's efforts to develop a new comprehensive conservation plan as required by law. PEER was particularly worried when the Fish and Wildlife Service floated the idea it might use a legislative transfer to turn over management of the 18,000-acre wildlife refuge to the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes. That approach was shelved last year when Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke announced the government would retain complete control of the Bison Range, and PEER is satisfied with that position. CSKT spokesman Rob McDonald notes the settlement is actually silent on the question of the tribe's involvement, neither stipulating nor blocking the tribes from working with FWS.
The tribes have long been on record urging the service to complete these plans, and we are a cooperating agency for the service in the development of these plans. And we look forward to working with them on these plans as well as the related environmental analysis. There's nothing stopping us from having discussions between the service and the tribes on future partnerships.
The settlement gives the government 5 years to complete that conservation plan for the Bison Range.
Attorneys for the Montana Artesian Water Company say they're ready to start bottling water soon. However, opponents say they're ready to sue to stop this from happening. This is unfolding after the DNRC upheld the decision to grant the company permission to open up that controversial water bottling plant in the Flathead Valley.
The line that's been, or the equipment that's been out there on site is ready to be assembled by the middle of February. That line should be fully assembled and ready to go into full production. So I would think within the next 30 to 60 days, you should have a product ready to market and sell.
The company has worked for more than 2 years to get state approval for the plant that would draw water underneath a slough area along the Flathead River near Creston. The company wants to be able to pull the equivalent of more than 1 billion bottles of water using wells tapping into the groundwater each year. Friday, the DNRC announced its findings in the case, saying it would uphold the decision to grant the Montana Artesian its permit, citing the company was able to prove that this operation will not degrade area water quality. But opponents say they plan to appeal this decision in district court.
Well, the position the DNRC has finally taken has been disappointing for sure, but it wasn't unexpected. We always knew that they were going to try to stick to, their previous thoughts on this regardless of the evidence that's brought up, and we've always known that we will be vindicated in district court.
We have more on the ruling on our webpage, KPAX.com. It may be the oldest continually operating school in Montana, but its future, not the past, which is worrying administrators of Lone Rock School, are on topic. For the past few years, leaders of the Lone Rock School District have been wrestling with fluctuating enrollments and the funding it generates. It's a puzzle because at the same time, enthusiasm and support for the district remain strong. The school board met repeatedly last year, working on refining policies, budgets, and programs as directors try and craft a way forward. But now administrators are turning to the community for input. The district is sponsoring a planning meeting tomorrow night to get more ideas from the public on how to tackle these challenges. It starts at 5 o'clock with a potluck followed by a community discussion.
Glacier National Park administrators are expecting park visits to stay at record high levels this year, and they're advising park visitors to have a plan B if they're hoping to visit the park this summer. 2018 was the busiest season on record at Glacier, 3.3 million people coming through the gates, a 12% bump over the previous year. And it comes even though most of the west side of the park was closed because of forest fire activity at the end of the summer. The high point came in July when more than 1 million tourists visited the park in a single month, driven primarily by the increasing popularity of the Going to the Sun Road. Now park managers are saying they expect similar crowds this year, say it would be a good idea if people visiting the park in June, July, or August have an alternate day trip plan just in case their original destination gets crowded. They say that's especially true if you plan on visiting North Fork, Mini Glacier, Two Medicine, Avalanche, and Logan Pass. The park is also advising visitors to consider spreading out to the abundant local, state, and federal lands around the park to find a quieter experience. A number of groups are asking Ravalli County commissioners to back a request to cut back the speed limit on the busy Woodside Cutoff Road west of Corvallis. Current speed is 60 miles an hour for that 2 miles immediately east of Highway 93. Drops to about 25 as you come into Corvallis. But the Ravalli County Fish and Wildlife Association, the Teller Wildlife Refuge, and some homeowners say they'd like to see the state cut it back to perhaps 45 miles per hour. They're especially worried about how busy the road has become, but also because of the traffic coming off and on the highway to reach the refuge and the FWP fishing access on the river. There have also been struggles on how to get a pedestrian walkway for the bridge. Groups are asking commissioners to consider writing a letter of support to MDT to lower the limits during their meeting on Tuesday morning.
A big change is coming to the Missoula County Fair, the Western Montana Fair, every August. Handmade Montana is joining forces with the Western Montana Fair this year. The organization of artisans and makers is presenting the new made Fair Marketplace in August during Fair Week. It will last 6 days, all of which will take place in the commercial building at the fairgrounds. Organizers say the Made Fair Marketplace will be heavily promoted as a new attraction. It will allow Montana artists to be more prominently featured during the fair. The Made Fair itself will be held June 24th at Caras Park.
Not a bad day out there, really. Nice
was
evening.
Gorgeous,
Saw my
right?
first 2 motorcycles coming back in on Brooks at sunset.
Were
they
you
out.
jealous? So you
Yeah,
wanted
it was
to get
a little
yourself?
bit. Yeah. Coming up here, it is back what looks to be a breezy and cold forecast coming up.
Oh, well. And later, the inspirational story of how one man uses his love of comics to prove that people can deal with the daily struggle of autism.